Ladies and gentlemen of the YSN universe, um, after many scheduling conflicts and this almost not happening, I'm very happy to announce that, someone that I've known for a very long time has joined the channel. And introduce yourself, man.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Justyn Tate, and I've known Yanni since what was it? High school, I guess. What your sophomore year, so my junior year, right?
Freshman, bro. Remember Brian?
Freshman year. Oh, Briar, I forgot about that. But shout out Dean, I forgot. Shout out Saneem. Yeah. Yeah. So it's been a minute. Always Yanni always brings good energy every time I've spoken to Yanni. Granted, I haven't seen you in person in probably like 4 or 5 years. That's terrible, but
Bro, remember 2018 graduation for because I went for Sis and I think you was there for Lauren Clark and we took that one picture.
Oh, that
That's the
was
last time I
what?
seen you in person.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
the last time.
yeah. That's insane. But
So
yeah, man,
crazy.
crazy.
It's been a long time, man. Just to add on to what Justin said already. Yeah, I've known Justin since I was a freshman in high school. It's funny because people, whenever people say slime now, you know, it's not it's not the how I say this, it's not the connotation that me and Justin know slime as. For some reason, which we're gonna ask him right now, Justin called me green slime when I first met him. He's like, "Look at green slime. Look at Yanni slime." So, Justin, do you have a reason for this, and do you want to tell the people why?
Man, if you know me, most of the people that I'm cool with to this day, I probably have given a nickname to them at some point. So with you, honestly, if I remember correctly, I think you wore green one day. I don't even know why. and and that was when the combination of you wearing green and the fact that I was always listening to Young Thug, when Young Thug first came out, like when we were starting to listen to that, I think I just put two and two together, just started calling you Yanni Green Slime because I don't know. I always thought of you're from Greece, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not. I
Well,
can,
you know what I mean.
yeah,
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 heritage,
yeah, yeah.
heritage. So I always thought of was and Giannis was on the Bucks at that time. I'm assuming. I hope
He
or
was a
no.
rookie. He was a rookie. He was a rookie.
Yeah. So I think that's it all kind of added in there, to be honest with you. And then that's how, honestly, I just started calling you Slime. It had it wasn't even anything like I thought hard about. I just kind of like looked at you, said that one day, whatever day it was, I don't know. But it was like Slime, you know what I mean?
So, adding on from that, but yeah, man, I've known Justin since I was 14 years old. I'm currently 23. So, it's been a while. But,
Long
like
time.
Justin said, it's always been good vibes with Justin. But I want to talk to you about, first of all, a common topic that's been in a lot of my conversations on YouTube recently is basketball. So obviously
Mm-hmm.
you've been a hooper your whole life. And, regardless of if you're like playing competitively or not, you still got that in you. Like I think that's like a characteristic of people.
Yeah.
So what were some of the highlights that you remember through high school, through your basketball like journey? And
Mm-hmm.
because I remember, I mean, we're not gonna get too spicy, but it was like a big thing at Rockridge. It was like, oh yeah, the team is like they're not gelling, they're not meshing or whatever. And I always remember because like they were like probably be like, yeah, Justin's trying to be the middleman. He's trying to like get everyone to come together, but it just wasn't happening. So what do you remember from your experience back then?
So my experience, I would say is interesting because I didn't plan on going to Rockridge at first, right? I was at Briar with you, and I knew that you guys were going because you guys were rezoned there. And myself, I didn't know what I was going to do. I saw it as an opportunity to start something new, be a part of something fresh. And Coach Geyer, who's still there now, I've known him since I was like 9 or 10. So he kind of convinced me to start looking in the opportunity of transferring. And our first year we shocked a lot of people. Our first year, we shocked a lot of people. We went, I believe, 12 and 11. You know, it doesn't necessarily happen for new schools. New schools don't necessarily win 12 games. Uh, we could have gone farther, I believe. I think we were that talented back then, and but it just didn't happen. And then that that year was crazy because like everybody, it was new. Like, I remember the first game, I think we played Freedom, and I remember my heart beating out of my chest and running out that tunnel, and like we were packed for a little bit. Like that was our first season, first home opener, and we won. And I was ecstatic about that. Trying to establish a new program, trying to mesh with teammates. It was very hard because we were the oldest class. 2016 was the oldest class, so I had to learn. Like, I didn't have, older people from other schools came from like Dominion that Coach Geyer coached, but I didn't have anyone there that was older than me at the time. And so it made things more difficult, but I liked the challenge. And so it was a fun year for your junior year. And then I broke my ankle going into my senior year, doing a non-contact drill. I still don't know how that happened. Sanine thinks he crossed me up, but we can let him have that one. If you call him, he'll probably say that. But we had, so that coming into my senior year was very hard for me. And we're being honest, I wasn't healthy that whole year. I had definitely a lot of ankle pain. I had to do a lot of exercises and take a lot of ibuprofens just to be able to play. But I believe we were stacked. We had a solid. Everyone could play on that team. We had 13 players. I don't even remember anymore. And then we had a seniors, so we had probably like 6 or 7 seniors, and there was a period where we weren't meshing. I believe that we had a lot of selfishness on our team at times, and it just everybody wanted to score 20, and it just wasn't going to work. Like,
Mhm.
there's not enough shots around. So for me, um, I wasn't starting at first, and then I came back and I started. I mean, James and I both could have started. It didn't really matter who you wanted. If you wanted some crazy little spin moves, some assists, and a couple dimes and a couple buckets, you calling James. If you need someone to probably dive on the floor and be like Pat Bev now, then that was probably what my job was. But when I came back in the lineup, we lost like 7 straight games. That
Mhm.
was probably the hardest part. But the highlight, I would say, of everything is beating Briarwoods at home for my senior night. Briarwoods, I left Briarwoods for a multitude of reasons, more so of just not wanting to be there anymore. I didn't find I was very fond of that school towards my sophomore year. I didn't really like it, for me at least. And beating them, it was a little rivalry. I mean, I still had a couple of friends on the team and everything, but beating them and having a good game always sticks with me because I ended up getting the last laugh, I guess you could say. Um, and that was probably the highlight for me, would be beating Briarwoods. If I could pinpoint anything, beating Briarwoods and beating Dominion, because that's where Coach Geyer was. He came from.
Mhm.
So beating those two, and just honestly, just having fun. I knew for me, once I broke my ankle, that I wasn't going to play college basketball. I already came to terms with that, and I was fine with having that opportunity of being able to, and then not. I mean, I felt like I could have played. I mean, everyone says that they felt like they could have played, but I believed in my heart that I could have played, and I had a good, strong AAU season. So, other than that, it was interesting. It was a quick 2 years for me. Learned a lot. Um, I definitely have some great relationships uh, with people that I didn't think I would have, and if I didn't go, I wouldn't still have them in my life. I mean, obviously, sometimes people fall off, so I did lose a lot of people. I don't necessarily talk to all of my old teammates anymore, really. Probably maybe like 3 or 4. But it's no hard feelings for everybody else. It's just, that's what happens when you grow up, and it's been what now? It's going to be 7 years in 2023 since I've played basketball like that.
Yeah,
I sound old, but yeah. So that's it. That's that.
man. When you say that, it's just like it's an emphasizing of what I feel. Because last time I ever put on pads was 2016.
Yeah.
So just to think about that, it's like, and we always talk about that, like within our friend group, or I do, like we played football 6 years ago. Like,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like I don't even remember half the stuff that happened. Like, I don't even remember like. But when you're in that moment, it's like this. It's all that matters at that point. But like, it's such a small part of your life that obviously we weren't so great. So like,
Yeah.
I remember us getting clowned, and I was sick. And I wanted to win so bad, and like, I feel like we just didn't like gel as a team. Just like how you said, like it just wasn't working out at some points. Like, it was just like we would get like something would happen, one thing would go bad, and then like we just like it would crash down. Like we had no like backbone when it came to like being able to fight back.
Yeah.
So I just think like, but besides that, and besides that's high school. Now, bro, I'm 23. Are you 24 or 25 right now?
24. Whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
Hey,
whoa.
hey, hey.
Nah, you're right though. Some people starting to turn 25 coming up. So yeah, you're not wrong.
So we
We're
gonna
on the
keep
back end of this year.
having birthdays, and you'll see what happens, man. We're gonna be 30.
Facts, facts. Oh nah. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to live in the moment. But yeah, time is flying. Time is flying fast, man. Time is
Speaking
flying
of
fast.
speaking of time flying fast, like we talked about earlier, I met you when I was 14. We were at Briar, but obviously we kind of went our separate ways, I guess, because obviously you went to ODU and like I went to Nova. And however, so you going to ODU, this brings back a reconnection of ours because through another one of my close friends, I found out that you were staying with him. One
Hmm.
day, my guy Drew Lewis. I'm hanging out with him in the summer. I think we were hooping and we are doing something, and he was talking about his roommates. He's like, "Oh, bro, who you live with?" And he's like, I live with this. I live with James from Tuscarora." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I heard of him." I live with Alex Hove. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I heard of him too." And I live with Justyn Tate. I was like, "Justyn Tate?" He was like, "Yeah, you know Justyn?" I was like, "Yes, I know Justyn." So that was funny because Drew was, I think, my first friend I ever had in Virginia. And just like for that to come like kind of full circle, like for
Yeah.
because it's like I started off at Belmont, so I went to Belmont Ridge Middle School, and I stayed there for all 3 years.
Right.
I was supposed to go to Tuskegee, so that's how I knew like Drew and a lot of people from there. But I moved to Briar, and then 1 year after Briar, I left to Rockridge. So I knew like three different sections of people, and like
Yeah.
from Belmont, it was Tuskegee or Stonebridge, so I knew people from Stonebridge too, and like all somehow, some way, I feel like a lot of my friends from all those schools came back and connected like to each other.
Yeah.
It was weird the way it worked like that. But moving on from that, we were talking about how you didn't really enjoy or like you were not becoming fond of Briar Woods towards the end of your tenure there, so to speak. Bro, I think it's a common thing in my friend group. It's like, bro, thank God we left Briar. Is that the same way that you feel? That thank God I went to Rockridge.
Yeah. For me, yeah. A lot of people. I feel a lot of people left because for opportunities. And I know a lot of people weren't necessarily, like athletic wise, like they weren't sure if they were going to play, make the team, things like that. I remember for basketball specific, well, Briar football was always great. You know what I mean? So I didn't know obviously that much about the team or who was on it. I mean, I know some people, but I knew the older people. I didn't know people like our age.
Yeah.
But I think athletics and like drama club, like all these opportunities, a lot of people they weren't getting them at that school. And it wasn't it some of it, we're gonna be honest, some of it was because of talent, right? Some people weren't necessarily that good, right? And then you had other people who were in the mix, but then they just didn't want to be there anymore. I remember for basketball, um, I knew I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to get cut. It was just a matter of how much I was going to play, just because you had Brandon Curry there, you had what was that? So that was me being about to be a junior. You had the whole Connor Gaines, like all these people, Lucas Martin. Like we were stacked. Like that whole team was very very good, very very talented all the way around. And Coach Benson, who's the AD now. Coach Benson is the athletic director there. Surprisingly, well, not surprising. I knew he wanted to do that a while ago, but he was the head coach, and he coached my brother because my brother went there from
Mhm.
2008 to 2012. So I I I was waiting for him to figure out what he wanted to do as far as coaching, like if he was going to stay, but he resigned. So that's the reason why I left. And it just wasn't. I just wasn't having fun, man. I mean, a lot of a lot of people at Briar, I see them now sometimes. Sometimes they just walk right by me. Sometimes they don't necessarily acknowledge me. And I haven't changed that much, I don't think. I
Hmm.
have a beard. I have a beard and some tattoos. I grew maybe what, 3, 4 inches. Let's be honest. From then, slimmed up a little bit. I was bigger back in the day. But then they'll be like, "Oh my God, is that little Justyn Tate?" No, it's Houdini. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so just some of them, some of the interactions I had with some Briar people, it just didn't sit well with me. Granted, I still have people from Briar that I'm cool with, but that was the relationships and the cliques all the way that was over there. I just didn't personally like it. So that was my main reason for leaving. So you're absolutely right on that one.
I was about to say Brandon Cook. That's a name I haven't heard in Brandon Cook, Brandon Curry. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, my boy sees, man. That boy sees. I haven't seen him in like probably like a couple of weeks, but it's hard. Like seeing the people you used to see, man. It's not as easy as everybody thinks.
Yep.
It's not as easy as everybody thinks. You know what I'm saying? We're old now. Once you get that diploma, it's straight to the job. Like we're not sitting at home. Well, obviously I'm sitting at home now because what time is it? Damn near 9 o'clock. Yeah. So I'm at the crib now, but necessarily I'm saying like Monday through Friday, I'm working out, I'm at the crib. Like I don't necessarily see, that many people anymore. So at
It's
least it's
different
weekends.
work, man. It's different if it's different schedule, and also there's no more of those like remember the one life runs. There's no more of those, man.
No
No,
more of those. No
that's like
more
a
of those,
maybe.
man.
That's a maybe once in a month type thing. I feel
Yeah,
like it's more like
yeah, yeah.
even
Every
even
couple of
even
times.
that even might be stretching it too, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of runs, man, so I don't know if you remember this, but obviously when we first met, I always used to like mess around and be like, Justyn, play me one on one. Justyn, play me one on one. And you always be like, man, why you want to play me one on one so bad? And to this day, what's crazy is that we still have never played one on one.
We haven't.
And
We haven't.
and adding on to yeah, no, we haven't. And adding on to that point, because you were talking about your ankle and like when you hurt it, bro, I have the most paper ankles ever. I think I've hurt my ankle so many times. I just re-hurt my right one in July when I went back to VCU to move out, and then I went to hoop for 2 days at the gym. Like my last, hoorah, like oh, let me come
Yeah,
hoop.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
see,
yeah,
all
yeah,
my
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I'll come hoop with y'all, and then I'll leave. On move out day, I go. I'm playing King of the Court on one side when like the fives game is going on. I'm like, all right, this we're waiting on next. So I'm playing King of the Court. I do a jab step. I go to the left. All of a sudden, bro, I tangle feet with this one kid that obviously was guarding me, and I fall down. My calf, the bottom of my calf, is like 4 inches away from my knee. I thought it was over. I thought like so here, if I can show you, look, imagine imagine this is the back of your leg, right? So you know how like
Okay,
the bottom of your calf, when you flex your calf, is like down here. It's like obviously it's your calf muscle. It's pretty
right.
low, right? When I like sat up after I fell, my calf, at the bottom of my calf, was like here's the back of my kneecap and here's the bottom of my calf. So like it was
Hey, look, man.
yeah.
What?
So it was pushed up.
Oh,
I thought it was over. I was like, okay, I tore my Achilles. I did something horrible because like I didn't know what happened. So I get up, they give me ice, and then it goes away after a while. Like it's like the swelling goes back down. I don't even know if you got the full picture. I'm horrible at explaining, but it was bad. It was bad. I could I could
I'm still thinking of how you like. I don't all of that. All I don't know.
so
I don't know about that one.
so I get up and then I go play the fives game. And like I was playing fine, I was enjoying myself. I was doing all right. I'm guarding this one kid. He beats me off the dribble. I start shuffling. And then like I foul him when he goes up for a layup. I go to help him up, and while I'm helping him up, all of a sudden I can't walk no more. My right ankle just like gives out, and like I'm just like I can't. Like I'm hobbling on it. And it's so yeah. Ever since then I haven't hooped. That was like July 6th. So I've been retired.
Gosh, you're in
I've
retirement.
been
You're in
retired. But
retirement.
when we were at VCU, I don't know if you know this, but I live with obviously Terrell. I don't know
Mm.
if you remember Walter and Khalil, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
I live
yeah.
with those three for. I live with Walter first, just me and Walter. But then the next year, I live with Walter, Terrell, and Khalil, and we had
Yeah.
our 2-on-2 series for like basketball. So we'd always go
Mm-hmm.
play. But besides that, like I play intramural, like I was just always hooping at the gym, like whenever they opened it. So I've been hooping a lot. So like this 2 month break is like probably the longest I've gone without playing basketball since like I hurt my ankle in 2020. So
Wow. I'm
yeah.
gonna let you know right now. I have before the pandemic, I was playing frequently.
Mhm.
Pandemic hit, I didn't play for a whole year and a half.
Yeah.
So I didn't start playing until what was this 2022, right? So 2021, like midway through 2021 is when I started playing. And I even couldn't do that because I was a manager at Under Armour before I had the job that I have now. And being a manager, you have an inconsistent schedule. So I never hooped really, unless
Shout
like
out,
I
shout
yeah,
out,
once or twice a weekend.
shout out Owen.
Oh yeah, nah. Owen told me to say what's up. Owen told me to say what's up. But yeah, no, that's crazy. You did better than me because I'm gonna tell you right now, your boy wasn't who I. Your boy wasn't playing no ball, man, for a whole year and a half.
And if
Year and a
people like if they didn't know us and they were listening to this conversation, they'd think like I'm the one that played basketball, like I actually play basketball. But you,
half.
I'm just doing this on the side just for fun. But you're the actual like hooper like that plays. So that's kind of crazy to think about. But we've done a lot of talking about the past. Obviously, it's good to catch up with you. It's been like forever since I've seen you. But what's
For
going on
sure.
with Justyn Tate now? And what's Justyn Tate looking for in the future?
What's going on with me now? See, so for me, right, pandemic hit, um, graduated during the pandemic. Didn't I had a plan to what I wanted to do with my life. So I wanted to be in the law. I wanted to be in the law field, and I had a plan to go to Georgia. That didn't work out, obviously, because everything was shut down. And so at that time, I was like, I need a job. Like I need a job. Like I'm not going to sit at the crib at my mom's house
Hmm.
with broke. Like what do I look like? I have a degree. Let's go out and use it. So I went and I was already working at Under Armour, and so my boss was like, "What do you think about being a manager?" And I was like, I never thought about it. So I took the job. Obviously, like she saved me. Then I was there, and then working there for a year and a half. In between, towards the end, I didn't like it anymore. Didn't have fun doing it. Didn't like managing people. Didn't I had to completely like I'm an outgoing person and I'm interactive with people, but I had to change my mentality, my mindset. And obviously I'm a talker. It's not a secret. But Under Armour, I had to like towards the end, I had to cut it out. Like I had to try to like relax on the talking and more focus on the work. But it was just too much for me. And so I was like, okay, my next idea, I want to go to law school, right? I was still wanted to be in the law field. So I was like, all right, let's go to law school or try to apply to law school. And that was the hardest thing because working and going to school, working full time, the hours that I was working and trying to take a class after just wasn't going to happen. So made a decision. I said, either I'm gonna either I'm gonna quit this job and take these classes to try to get a good great LSAT score, or I'm gonna try to find a job like for work at a law firm. So it wasn't until so I was there for and then I started applying to places, trying to get up out of Under Armour, doing everything I possibly could. And I was fortunate enough to end up getting hired at a great law firm out of our DC office. Um, so I've been there since April, and now, right, I'm working as an ASA, so attorney support assistant. I work with the first through 30 year attorneys on anything from expenses to traveling arrangements to document red lines, things like that. Just administrative stuff for them. And some people might just be like, "Oh, so you run errands and get their coffee?" No, not like that. I'm on the computer. I'm making things happen. Like how you have like the support team for AT&T, like where they connect you to the right department. This it's basically what I do, except I'm more hands on. Um, so that's what I'm doing now. For the future, I'm contemplating switching careers, just because uh, I'm not sure if I want to do what I work now as a corporate law. and I'm not sure if I want to do that. I want to be more so. I want to live like fulfill myself and giving back to the community, giving back to people who are less fortunate than I was growing up, or that are still less fortunate than I am now. So future wise, I'm reevaluating myself a year. So April of 2023, before my 25th birthday, is right around, when that happens for me, is when I'll start evaluating things and seeing where I'm going from there. If I'm going to switch careers, do I want to get into something like education, or if I'm going to stay there, do I want to go ahead and be a paralegal and maybe see if I can still want to go to law school. But by 25, I'll have a better idea, understanding of myself. This is just kind of a thing to get my feet wet, really. So, uh, other than that, man, just trying to stay solid. A lot of people, they fall off. They don't understand priorities. Like I live on my own now. Obviously, I moved out of my mom's house. You gotta pay bills. Like it's not something that it's not. I'm not living rent free anymore. It's all about growing up. Trying to keep the connections that I have maintained. The people that I don't see often or barely at all, they know that I still care about them, because if you hit me up, it's love. If I hit you up, it's love. You know what I mean? And I understand that everybody's doing something different. Everyone's busy. Like we're all working, or we're all in school still, or we're all this, that, and the third. So although we know, we might not get to see our people that you usually see, it's nothing personal. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to see people, and a lot of people don't understand that, that's what life's about. Like once you get out of college, you might not see your friends as often as you want, or you might not even talk to them barely. And that's okay. But the real ones always stay. So that's really what I've been on, really, is just connected with the people that I've been connected with, making new relationships with people, and just living, really living my life, enjoying it.
And just to go off what you just said, the real ones do always stay, man. I don't know if you remember, but I had a huge, like, not huge, but we had a pretty big size friend group in high school. And now
Yeah,
it's like maybe 6 or 7 of them I still like talk to on a daily basis. So it's like,
mine's three. So
yeah,
you you got that one. You
yeah.
beat me on that one. But the
So
friend groups is like that all the time. So it is
exactly.
what it is.
And just going off what you were saying too, I still see you around the same people. Like since we were in high school, I still see you around, like obviously I said James earlier, Drew Owen, like I still see you around all of them. I see you kicking it like Melvin, like all those guys. You kept it like within your circle for a while. And I think that's admirable, anytime that, because we live in, Loudoun County, Virginia, where a lot of people are not the most genuine and most nicest. So
Right, absolutely.
it's always good to see people that have a squad and then stick with it, and it's like true
Yeah,
genuine friendship. That's what I admire, and that's what I have with my friends, and obviously that's what you have too. So big up
yeah.
to big up to you for that. But yeah, man, anything else you want to say, want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Man, I just want to say, man, shout out to you, man, for following your dream, man. You had a hard path. You had a hard path, and a lot of people I know, when they have hard paths, they tended to give up. You didn't give up, man. You went from Nova to VCU, getting that degree, getting that paper. A lot of people are starting to discredit going to college. I think college is an opportunity to learn about yourself as a human being, as an
Mhm.
individual, and you went there and you did that, and now you're doing what you love to do. And you've always been like this. Used to talk about sports back in the day. You know what I mean? So like you haven't you've been clear on what you want to do, and I just want to shout you out, man, because it's hard to maintain what you want to do. There's all these obstacles that we have to overcome in life. I know the pandemic, probably messed you up in some way. It messed up everybody, you know what I'm saying? But
Sure.
having positive that positive mindset to maintain, that focus that you need to be able to be successful, I think is great. So kudos to you for grinding. I appreciate you having me, on here. You big time. I might need to get your autograph. You know what
Big
I mean? Because
time.
basically where we at, yeah, you big time. I'm just chilling. I'm not doing anything but staying in my little corner, my little condo over here, and staying in my little bubble. I'm not doing much. But you out there.
Big time is crazy, man. I'm not there yet. When I'm big time, you'll know for sure. You'll know. You'll
Oh
know.
yeah, now there's levels. We use the version right now, but
Yeah.
we trying to get to the top. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm there. I'm following what you're saying. I'm following.
Justin is one of the people that knew the OG Yanni Sports Nation back
Yes,
when
sir.
I first started. That was at Briarwoods. That was like middle school Briarwoods, and then
For
obviously
sure, for
I
sure,
took a break. But we're back, man. But it's not just sports. It's music, it's life, and it's conversation with people like Justin that make life better, man. You learn
for
perspective,
sure,
you learn about who you surround yourself with, and you learn about yourself too. So I reciprocate the energy back to you, Justin. Thank you for coming on, bro. It's nice to see you. Hopefully, I get to see you in person at some point.
for sure,
But,
for sure, for sure.
ladies and gentlemen, this is Justyn Tate. I'm Niners Sports Nation. Signing out.
Sold out dates, cash every day. I got you a mace, I light up blue rays. Bitch cheat on my pet, the condo a cave.